Okay guys, we're going to do an 8-bar blues, key of B, swing feel from the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, okay, some Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. Wonderful, wonderful song. Snatch It Back and Hold It. Just a great blues classic. I started that off with a blues intro. If you ever go to a blues jam and you don't know a song, they might tell you how to play it that way. So after we're done with this lesson, which is short, we'll go over what that means. 8-bar blues, key of B, swing feel from the 5, okay? Because there's obviously variations on that will tell you how to play this song if you're unfamiliar with it. Okay, so we'll talk about that after the song. So, song, I tabbed it out, my tab's right below. Easy in the sense that it's a straight rhythm song. There's no solo in it. There's a harp solo, but again, we don't play guitar on that. But we can, you can jam if you want. So it'd be in the key of B minor. You can do major, but most blues tends to be minor pentatonic or minor blues scale. And with that said, there is a difference in the second verse from what I'll show you in the beginning. So don't just say, oh, I know that song. Well, maybe you do, but maybe you don't, because he does change it up the second half. And it's subtle enough, you might not notice it if you think you know it. Because, I researched my lessons and the tab all had it straight as we will learn it this first way through. But again, second half of verse 2, he changes it up. Good old Buddy Guy. And he keeps the change consistent through the rest of the song. So, we start out from the 5th, and that would be the 5 chord. All right, key of B, you got B right below it, E right next to it, F sharp. That's your 1, 4, 5. 99.9% of blues songs with the 8 bars have that 1, 4, 5. All right. You can play different chords with that. Buddy Guy starts his song with an F sharp 9th. Alright, so we do that, let that ring, and then we start the rhythm. So that's from the 5. Okay, so now we're into the verse. And what we do for this verse is we're going to hit the 7th fret of the 6th string, and then we're going to do a hammer-on from 7 to 9 on the 5th string. Then we come quickly to the 4th string with 5 hits, so it's a down, up, down, up, down, and then an up on the 9. Alright, so we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first measure does that 4 times through. Then we go to the 4th chord in the scale of B, which would be our E. Alright, so with the E, what we're doing is starting on the E note. Then just move down to the 4th string and then the 3rd. We do that 2 times and then 2 more times. Then we move to the 5. So the 5 would be our F sharp, all right, but we did a 9th, nice little change-up chord. So when we go to the 5, we'll do that once, then the 4, and then the 1. Just stop on that 7th note. We don't go turn it around or anything. That's just the feel of the song. All right. So those are the measures of these 8-bar blues. That is the 8 measures. So verse 2, I'll go through it and then we'll discuss what's different with it. Okay, so like I said, verse 2, the first half of it, half measure I should say, is the normal, what we've learned. Then he switches up, and this continues the rest of the song. Even when we go to the 4 and 5, this pattern is the same. What we do is we're going to hit 7 on the 6th string to 9, no hammering. And then we go right to 9 on the 4th string with 4 hits before we go 7, 9. Alright, so we'll do that twice. Then we move to the 4. Back to the 1. Then we go to the 5 and 4. Back to our 1. Stop on that 7. Alright? That is how the rest of the song goes. So not exactly like the tab writes out, not what you think. So if you caught that, good on you. And we'll talk about some blues next. I really hope that helps everybody. Stick around. Like I said, we're going to discuss some open blues jams and what you can do. All right, everybody, you go to a blues jam. You want to sit in with the band. You sign up. How do you prepare for this? What's going to happen? Well, basically, obviously it's a jam. So, you haven't played with these people. So it's kind of a get to feel and know each other and see how good a player you are, how maybe not good a player you are. Either way, it's a great way to learn. All right, so you plan to go to a blues jam. Maybe you scout it out the week before and see what songs they're playing and what songs the band knows really well. You learn some of those. And when it's your turn, if the songs haven't been played, you can offer that up. Hey, let's play Sweet Home Chicago. Do you know Snatch It Back and Hold It? Do you know, and so forth. Make sure they're blues standards that you learn when you go to sit in, because that's what most of these jams are about. Standard songs that you can shine on and play with and do your own thing. Okay? That's what drew me to blues, was because I could play my own solos and, you didn't play it exactly like Jimmy Page. Well, yeah, I'm not Jimmy Page for one. And two, sometimes you want to do your own thing. So blues is a great release for that. All right, so you get up there on the stage, you do a song you all know, and they want to do a song they know. So they say to you, okay, just like this song we just did, Snatch It Back and Hold It, we're going to do Snatch It Back and Hold It. And you're like, how does that go? I remember it, but, they'll say 8-bar blues. So it's a typical blues song, 1, 4, 5, 8 bars. Key of B. So now we know we're all going to be in the key of B. So our 1, 4, 5, real quickly, B right below it, E right next to it, a full step, F sharp. Those are our 1, 4, 5s. All right. They say swing feel, so it's got a bit of an up-tempo feel to it, and they say from the 5, that means we're going to start on the 5th chord, which would be B, E, F sharp. All right, you can do an F sharp 7, you can do an F sharp 9, or you can just do an F sharp. But F sharp doesn't sound as intriguing, does it? That 9th really adds a lot. I was drawn to ninths and sevenths a lot. All right. Now, again, if it's a song you're not real familiar with, you can kind of lay back a little bit, turn your volume down, and listen to what the band is doing. And then turn up and join in once you get the feel for the song, okay? Because 8-bar blues, key of B, swing feel from the 5, it gives you enough, but it's not necessarily everything, okay? You'd stand there all day trying to figure out songs and learn them. That's what practice is for. This is a jam. So, that said, you need a little theory, all right? Music theory. Let's look at the major scale, all right? Everybody talks from C because C is all full notes. It follows the keyboard. It's all the white keys, all right? If you didn't know that. And there's no sharps or flats in it. So it's very, everything is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C around, okay? So what is that? So, when we say 1, 4, 5, how does that relate to C, D, E, F, G? Well, each note, C, 1, D, 2, E, 3, F, 4. So if we're in the key of C, right below it, F. There's our F, 4. Then 5 would be G, and then A, B, and C again. We repeat. So how does that happen? So if we take the C major scale, C to D is a step, all right? D to E is another step. So we got step, step, and then we go half step to F. All right, from F to G is another step. All right, then we go to A, that's another step to B, and then a half step to C. So it's step, step, half step, 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 half step. All right, so if you forget it, just look at the C scale, make sure you don't get any sharps in it. You go C, that's step, step, half step. Step, 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 half step, okay? That will help you because whatever key you're in, now you know what notes are in it. Why is that important? Because you need to know the scales. Yes, I gave you an easy way to remember. If we're in the key of A, right below it is D, the 4. Right next to that is E, the 5. All right? But if you didn't know that, you could figure it out. Okay, there's your 4 and 5. So, again, without getting too thick into theory, that's what you got. All right? Now, the last thing I want to cover a little bit more is what they'll say. Let's say they want to do Sweet Home Chicago. They're going to say, 8-bar blues, key of E. We're going to do it with an up-tempo feel, and we're going to go from the turnaround. All right? So if you think of Sweet Home Chicago, it starts out. But it's not a straight, normal 8-bar blues. It jumps to an A quickly, all right? So what they would say, 8-bar blues, quick change. That means we're going to change quickly from the 1 to the 4 back to the 1, all right? So that's a quick change. So that's, again, giving you a clue of how the song's going to go. All right, so we got 8-bar blues, key of E, quick change, up-tempo from the turnaround. So... those are some of the common terms you'll hear, whether it's quick change, meaning we're going to change quickly from our 1 to 4 and then back to 1. 8-bar, 12-bar blues, major minor might be thrown in there, key of B minor. Maybe if you're doing Thrill Is Gone, not that it's in B minor, I don't remember, but it's a minor song. In the type of feel, it might be slow blues, so you're not going to start out as slow blues like, you're going to start it out and go from there, all right? Again, the biggest thing of an open blues jam or open mic is listening. Doing a little scouting, see what the band plays, or even looking up YouTube videos that might be online of the band and what they know, and learning it and sitting in is so much fun. You learn a lot. You know, I played with these old blues guys who'd been around Toledo, and the guitarist had to have surgery and asked me to fill in, and I was so honored, but I'll tell you, it was the biggest learning experience of my life, because his brother Roman played, these were the Griswolds. They were from Alabama, and they used to play what we called the Chicago Chitlin Circuit. And in Toledo, they had on the outskirts of the city a place called Heinz Farm, which was really a black club, if you will, where black people could come and relax and not have to worry about any racial shit and be themselves. And they had motorcycle races because it was out in the farmland, and they had blues artists. And the blues guys used to come from Chicago through the Toledo area up to Detroit. So it was a nice place to stop, stay, have some food, play a show with the house band. So, you know, B.B. King, he didn't have a touring band at first. He went by himself and played with local musicians. Chuck Berry did that. A number of artists. It's a way of saving money when you don't have it. And anyhow, playing. So, Griswolds, my story, getting back to Roman, the keyboard player who played bass too on the keyboards, we had a saxophone player and a drummer, and then there was me on guitar. And I knew their songs, and that's how I got asked to play with the band. But damn, Roman would just start a song that I didn't necessarily know, and he never stayed in the same key. He would be going from, you know, B flat to all of a sudden we're in the key of C to maybe the key of A on the next song. And I had to quickly listen and learn the keys and where he's going, and the songs I didn't know. I just had to kind of listen to what him and the sax player were doing and follow along. So my point is, blues jams are a great way to learn. So I hope this helps everybody. Have any questions, put them in the comments. I will surely answer them, and I hope this helps. Enjoy.